What exactly is healthy and what makes someone healthy and what makes someone healthier than someone else? Now, there is so much fear mongering going around, you don't even know what's safe anymore because everything is supposed to kill you and it's killing you slowly. Now, let's say we have one subject and that subject eats 100% clean and healthy, grass-fed, organic, raised in the farm, doesn't put any artificial sweeteners in their body, anything artificial whatsoever. However, that person overeats and they eat at 4,000 calories and they need to lose 50 pounds. And even though they're eating 100% healthy, they are consuming more calories than they burn, and it's exactly why they're overweight. Now, according to their blood panels, they seem healthy. Now, the blood pressure tends to be a little bit on the higher side because this might have something to do with them being overweight. They have poor cardiovascular system, which means that they're not very active. So their cardiovascular system is not at 100% because they tend to do a lot more weight training than cardio, like a lot of people, right? Now, let's say that subject, for example, they want to drop 50 pounds. However, they want to experiment with something and they want to eat something a little more flexible. So they go back to regular eating. They're going to be consuming foods in moderation that they actually love, foods they actually miss. Let's say they still get their protein requirements, they get their omega requirements, all the essential fats needed. However, they still have occasional treats, whether it's donuts, whether it's pizza, whether it's granola, ice cream, whatsoever. And let's say by eating this way, they are able to lose 50 pounds. According to their blood tests, what if that 50-pound loss is actually good for them, right? Because being overweight is not good for you. So if that subject loses 50 pounds by eating foods that are a little less healthy than what they were previously eating, that when they were in fact overweight. However, they're consuming 2,000 calories at this point and they're doing cardio activity on a regular basis. Now, according to their blood tests, it shows that they are in fact healthier. Why? Their blood pressure has dropped. They feel better overall. They have a lot more energy to do cardio. They just feel better by eating worse foods. Now, does that actually make them healthier? Because how do you determine health? What if your blood panels, your blood markers actually improve? Does that actually make you healthier? Technically, from a blood test perspective, from a, let's say, a stress test perspective, cardiovascular perspective, it is technically making you healthier. But can you say this person is not healthy because they are not eating healthier? Now, you could say, what if that person did the exact same thing but eating 100% healthy? Will that actually make them healthier? That is very hard to tell. And I'll tell you why. Because I have personally experimented with this. A few years ago, I decided to eat nothing but clean organic food at 100%, the cleanest of the cleanest. I was spending $500 to $600 a week on food, just to give you an idea how clean and how much quality that food actually was. And within 1 year, I did the exact same thing I did before, which I eat pretty much anything in moderation. Now, my blood test showed absolutely zero improvement. I felt the exact same. I didn't feel better. My digestion wasn't better. I ate the exact same thing, but much, much cleaner. I even lowered my carbs. I stopped spiking my insulin, and I felt the exact same. And I did this for a full year. I did 3 blood tests within that year. It showed the exact same results. Now, from a blood test perspective, technically, I'm eating a lot healthier, but I'm just as healthy. Now, the year after, I decided to go back to flexible eating, which I'm known to eat a lot of ice cream. I love ice cream. I like eating sweets on a daily basis, not too much, but enough to satisfy my craving. And within 1 year, again, 3 regular blood tests, I showed the exact same results. My heart rate was the same. My blood pressure was the same. Everything was the exact same. Now, can you say that it's working now, but it's gonna catch up to you eventually as you're getting older, when you get into your 30s and 40s? Now, I've been doing this since I was a teenager. I'm 47. Nothing has changed. But maybe at 57 it's gonna change, at 67, at 70. But then again, there's a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that they eat pretty much everything in moderation and they're completely fine. So it didn't catch up to them. What if that person who eats very healthy has very high stress levels? Is this gonna make them less healthy? Of course, stress is one of the number one killers in America. Well, not a direct killer, but it is gonna lead to a lot of health problems. And I've seen this myself with people who eat super healthy, but they're extremely stressed, and this turns to having them a lot of problems. So again, there's so many factors to determine what's healthy and what's not. Right now, everybody says, not everybody, a lot of people say, everybody who eats food, they feel like shit. They eat bread, you feel like shit. You eat dairy, you feel like shit. That is not true, people. That is completely false. There are millions of people in the United States that eat yogurt, they eat ice cream, they eat bread on a daily basis, and they are 100% fine. I eat these on a daily basis, I'm fine. So I don't know what these people are talking about, telling you everybody feels sick, everybody feels that. Again, it's not true. I never get sick. I've never been sick. I'm not an exception. I'm one of the millions who lives life the way they enjoy it. So don't believe a lot of that nonsense, all right? Overeating is a much bigger problem than eating everything in moderation at a lower quantity and being active and moving. I studied longevity for more than 30 years. I traveled in the blue zones. I actually went there in person. I don't read anecdotes on the internet. You know what a lot of these people have in common? They move. They don't sit down. People are comparing Japan. Why do people in Japan live a lot longer? I want to mention one thing in Japan. They consume 4 times the amount of seed oils, the very, very, very evil seed oils that are supposed to kill you. That's right. Japan is being consumed with seed oils as their main source of cooking oil. But you know what the difference is? They walk an average of 15 to 20,000 steps a day. That's 15 to 20,000 steps a day. The average American walks between 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day if they are lucky. They take the elevator to go to the first floor. They're gonna park at the closest spot when they get to the grocery store. They're lazy. This is why all these problems exist in America. It's because they're lazy. They don't walk. They're basically sitting down and doing nothing all day. They're comparing United States and Europe. Why are Europeans a lot healthier? Europeans walk an average of 10,000 to 15,000 steps a day, as much as Japan, a little bit less, but they all walk. I've been to Europe many times. Everybody walks. The United States, nobody walks. Everybody likes to take their car. It's basically the place where people take their car more than any other place in the world. This is why they're unhealthy. When you move less, you're going to be much unhealthy, even if you are eating very, very healthy. So again, at the end, health is determined by your lifestyle, your choices of eating, overconsumption, taking drugs, putting stress within your body. So in other words, when you stress your body, you are going to be unhealthy. Whether it's stressed by overeating, over-exercising, over-stressing, undersleeping, all these factors determine on how your body is going to handle stress. Some people are going to handle stress more than others, but at the end, putting your body through a lot of stress is going to increase your chances of being unhealthy. This is why you see a lot of people, they're living a regular lifestyle and they're eating whatever they want. They're not stressing too much because the stress itself can actually kill you faster than the food itself because you worry too much, right? Worrying is not a good thing, right? There's a book I actually read once, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, and nobody does that. People worry too much. And right now with social media, they make you worry about anything. They make you worry about, listening to music through your AirPods that is gonna fry your brain. You can't even listen to music anymore, right? So don't worry too much, people. We're not gonna make it, all right? We're gonna die one day. And you know what? Stressing too much is going to make you die a lot faster. Enjoy life. Do whatever you feel like doing that's not over excessive. And I guarantee you, you are going to be as healthy as you should be. Till next time.